Let's talk anime. Hello and welcome to Brandon's Discuss Anime, the Reckless Amoeba podcast. I am Brandon Horvath, and with me are my co-hosts, Brandon Falinger.
Hello, people. I am the here person.
And Ryan Stokiel.
What's up? Don't eat Tide Pods.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
boy.
understand why that's a thing.
I don't know.
But what I
don't
do
get it.
understand
I just
is...
saw a video of...
Go ahead.
I just saw a video of, how to make edible Tide Pods. So that's fun.
Sounds delicious.
It actually looks delicious, but
But what's
they
actually...
used, like, frosting stuff.
But what's actually maybe delicious, maybe not delicious. Ryan, you and I both work at the same store in retail, right?
Mm-hmm.
During your adventures around, did you see the new hot and spicy Oreos? The cinnamon.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
What's your
Yeah, it
thoughts
looks
on that?
disgusting.
I don't think cinnamon
It
would
looks
go.
disgusting.
Yeah. If they had a vanilla
It's like,
cookie,
I
I think
it
that might be...
was, what the hell, like, the hot tamale
Yeah. I think it might work better with the vanilla
or something
cookie.
flavored Oreo.
Cinnamon you had.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think
It's like
it might work
like
better
chew
with...
gum.
What?
Like chew big red gum and then eat an Oreo. Yeah, maybe they're going for a chocolate covered like chili pepper or something.
Maybe. But then again,
I don't
cinnamon
know.
isn't a chili pepper.
Sketch. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, like I guess the spice. They have sweet and spicy Skittles now.
Sweet and
Or yeah, fruity
Spicy.
with a spicy aftertaste.
Huh.
Yep.
I mean, why don't we just have sweet and sour Skittles at this point?
Oh,
It
they
makes
do.
more sense.
They did.
But now they have sweet and spicy.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't know. The cinnamon Oreos, I've heard they're not nearly as bad as they sound. Like they're not even hot. Again, that's what I've heard. They're not actually hot.
Huh.
Like there's no spice. It's more of a sweeter cinnamon. Supposedly they also work a lot better than you would think.
With
But,
chocolate.
I haven't actually tried them myself. Surprisingly. I mean, there are, like, like hot pepper companies that make chocolate with hot peppers in it.
Like that one
put
Dairy
the-
Deli.
Sweet Heat. Okay, here we go, yeah. Fluty Flavors with a spicy kick.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm curious what flavors. Like, I see red, orange, and yellow on the packaging.
They have all of the flavors. They have the green.
That's weird, considering that only the red, yellow, and orange are on the front.
Probably because of them
peppers.
being like, yeah, bright color reds and whatnot. To resemble the fire.
Yet there's still a rainbow there. With the purple,
Yeah.
blue, and green.
Taste the rainbow
Yeah.
as it sets your taste buds aflame.
It just shows you a boiling cauldron of, like, gold. Molten gold. See, this is what you have at the end of this rainbow, bitches. Do you still want it?
Face just melts off. It'd be like a Metalocalypse episode.
Man, that was a good show.
Yeah, it was.
I can't say that because I never actually watched the show.
Oh, it's great.
They actually... What was the pilot episode?
The coffee.
Yeah, the coffee. They need to make a death metal coffee jingle.
Yeah.
I will say
And-
this, speaking of shows I haven't actually seen, I was given clips from, and you'll like this, Amoeba, you'll really like this.
Yes.
I was given clips from, what was it called? Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
You've
Yesterday.
never seen
What?
What?
I shouldn't say never seen, I should say rarely watched.
Fuck.
That was
Okay.
great! That show was awesome!
Yeah.
Yes, but it was at its height when I couldn't exactly watch it because of school.
Okay. I think, like, the last 3 or 4 seasons were good, but it was funniest, like, around, like, 3 through 6 were, like, the absolute best.
Yeah.
So-
dude.
The ones I was given, right, was the one involving Meatwad making a dog,
Yes.
Oh,
making hand banana,
oh.
Yeah.
and then the clip of the enforcer being created.
Was that the robot? Yeah.
No. The enforcer was the other dog that was like made from Carl. I also got the one that was Carl having a flashback to having to eat carpet or something like that.
That was one of my favorites. That and the one where the Plutonians tried to steal their cable.
And the other
Yeah.
really good one that I then found after watching those was the one where apparently Carl got a possessed wig and turned into a clown.
Yeah.
Those were great shows.
Yeah. Fucking awesome.
I just love the fact that the woman leaves his house and he's driving out in a little clown car with giant ass feet. Just like, hey, where you going, baby? Hold on. Like, what the fuck is happening? Oh, God. We should move on. Otherwise, we'll be here a while.
Yes. And speaking about television shows that got a movie, did you see the Bleach trailer dropped?
Oh, no. What? Oh, God. Is it live action?
It is a Japanese live-action Bleach, not American.
All right. That'll be better, probably. Maybe.
Made by Warner Brothers Japan, so...
It's still Japan, so I'm going to assume it's not going to be awful.
I think the Full Metal Alchemist live-action was made by Warner Brothers Japan.
I don't watch enough of them. Like, I've seen clips of, like,
Wait.
the live-action anime adaptations from Japan, and normally they're good. But I haven't actually seen enough all the way through to really judge or know for sure.
Okay.
They made a live action of Full Metal Alchemist,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like
Uh,
out. Or
Recently it came out, like the past 6 months, I'd say.
oh shit! I wonder if I could find one with subtitles.
Probably.
Okay, we covered food, and now it's time to go to another talking point. Yay! Brandon, shall you talk?
I would love if we had enough editing power to just highlight this with a really, really sad dial-in going on. So I don't know if the viewers want to just open up another tab or a window,
Or maybe
just
I
have
can
that
find
playing.
something?
Just have that playing for a little bit. No, you don't have to worry about it. It's fine. But just have that playing. As I say, poor EA. They just didn't make the 10 million copies that they were projecting to sell of Battlefront 2. It's just such a shame, you know. The game was really, really good and didn't try to dig into your wallet or psychologically influence you to make extra purchases or any of that. Such a shame, really. I mean, my heart goes out to EA and, you know, their CEOs and high-end people that are suffering because of this, because they just didn't have the money, you know? And, you know, I'm sure that one of them probably has a very sickly condition that, you know, what's the actual term called? God, I forget
Greed?
what the... No, I forget the matter. Is that it? Maybe it's greed, but the need for more and more money than you could ever possibly use in a lifetime, you know, they're suffering from that, and this isn't helping the cause, you know, guys. They sold about, I think a couple million less than what they projected, and, you know, they also said that how they didn't think that the fact that they were pulling the loot boxes from the game would cause a problem with that, but clearly they were wrong. There was a severe impact. They're suffering very greatly right now because of this. So when they finally do turn those microtransactions back on, guys, please just go out, spend like 20, $30, $50, couple hundred, go on. We need to fix this problem that they have, this mental sickness called greed. And the only way to do that is to hand them money out of your hard-earned wallet. I feel like this needs to be a PSA, guys, don't you?
Kind of like your PSA about spending too much money getting Jack the Ripper.
Fuck that. I hate that so much. I hate myself for that, alright? Look, I hate myself for that so much.
Jack the Ripper.
Oh, God.
Yeah, within the Fates... Is it Fate Grand Order?
Fate Grand Order's the game.
Yeah, and there was a character you could get, Jack the Ripper, and he spent a little bit too much money than he wanted trying to get.
Way too much. It was too much of an obsession. I refuse to ever spend money on that game again. Oh, God. The first and only time that's ever going to happen to me. Oh, God.
Yeah.
I hate it.
And, speaking about depression, today's anime. Now and then, here and there. Ryan, what's it about?
Wow.
Good luck with a title like that, my friend. Look, hold on. Before he starts, let me just say this. All right. After last week with the baguettes, I expect something amazing out of you.
And should we just give him the genre to maybe?
No, I want to see how he does this.
Okay.
I want to see how this happens. I want to go on an adventure again.
What? Wait, alright, one more time. What was the name of this thing?
Now and then, here and there.
Is it fucking Japanese Dr. Seuss? Like, what the fuck?
I did say good luck with this title. Oh, God.
Like, that just sounds like a Dr. Seuss book.
Look, I won't lie to you, Orion. I thought the same thing when he first told me this was the title.
That was there.
Should I give him
There
the
and here? What
Japanese
the fuck
title?
was it called?
I don't know that the Japanese title's actually going to help.
Now and then, here and there. Or, in Japanese...
Hop on pop.
Yeah.
Imasoku ni iru boku. Or, the me that's here now.
When I first heard the title, I thought of, the hell was that book? That was Then, This Is Now.
Oh, okay.
I know I've heard that title before.
Yeah.
Either that or it's just a line that's used a lot.
No,
Maybe
it was
a line that's
a
used a lot.
book. I think it was a book before The Outsiders came out. Yeah. So alright, this sounds like a time traveling, series.
Okay.
And, it's about this guy or girl, whatever. They get in some kind of accident and gets this, like a psychic power where they can time travel.
Okay.
And, they have to stop bad things from happening. They just go back in time to, stop, Hitler or the other guy that was Hitler's guy. I always forget his name.
Oh yeah, I do too. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I don't know. They go back and try to stop it.
What?
Or they just go back and they go get groceries and there's an item that was on sale last week and they just go back in time to get the sale.
God damn it, Saitama would really want that.
Yeah. You know.
I would just love it if it was that lighthearted.
I mean, hold on. Let me just ask you this, alright? Are you just taking the cartoon show Time Squad at this point and using that?
Oh my god, I remember Time Squad.
Let me Google Time Squad
because that is more or less the same plot where they go back in time and fix histories.
Oh, I remember that show.
With
But,
like Larry 3000 or something is the robot character, and the other guy's like a lunkhead.
Yeah. I forget that show. I did watch it. But
Your subconscious must be pulling it through because that's the exact plot of that show.
yeah. Well, it sounds the
Other than
title
the
of
powers
show.
being, in a person.
Yeah.
Well, this is a dystopian military drama. 3 words that say, oh boy, this is gonna be a good time. And
I mean, you described it to me as the series that just keeps getting worse.
upon rewatching it, I just remember it being worse than it was. Like, the first 6 episodes things were getting worse than the first six episodes. Then things picked up a bit, and then it started back down again. Not as bad as I remember it, but it was still kind of depressing.
Like, after watching Higurashi, right, I kind of feel like this is too weak. And we're gonna do a follow-up to this with just you and me talking about this.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna get into it here.
Not a lot of it, though. But
No.
as I'm just reading this to get just a little bit of a background on the writer of it, he also did Made in Abyss.
Oh, nice. That explains why the darkness is in that series.
And Excel Saga. Makes me go, wait, what? And it was directed by a guy who made Fruits Basket. You know, the hug an animal, it turns into a person?
I don't believe I've heard of that series.
Okay, but sidetracking to Fruits Basket, there's this family of 12, and whenever they're hugged by somebody of the opposite sex, they're turned into an animal of the Chinese zodiac, and they need to be hugged again to turn back. So, romantic comedy shenanigans.
So what's the problem exactly?
I'm just surprised that the guy,
No. I mean, what's the problem in that anime exactly? Like, what's the conflict? What's the issue?
I just remember reading about it, so they need
Because it does not sound that interesting to me.
It's a romantic comedy, okay?
I've seen Tenchi.
Tenchi is a far better romantic comedy. And I've seen Tenchi. And this was made in October 4th, 1999 to January 20th, 2000. 13-episode series.
Yay, it was mercifully short.
Yeah. And I actually got into this via a 2-episode sample DVD, and I was like, oh, this seems pretty interesting. I bought the box set 14 years ago now, and I've only watched it like 3 times because, like I said, I just found it back then to be just really depressing.
And I found it tedious and boring, because I expect things to be even worse.
Okay. And I'm just saying, with Higurashi, we had enough comedy to balance out all the seriousness. This has almost next to no comedy.
I'm holding my tongue for the post show.
Okay.
I'm just going to hold my tongue on this one because I have some things to bring up involving that.
Okay. The next to no comedy, or?
Involving, like, comparing it to Higurashi.
So, what time frame is this setting?
The beginning, the first episode takes place around 1999. I would say.
Okay, so
it's kind of hard to say because there's not really much in the way of technology to give it away. So, like, I would say it's as close to current as when it came out would be my guess.
Yeah, so 1999.
Like 99, early 2000, right in there. Because I think it came out like 2003, right?
In America, yes.
I thought it didn't make it over here until late 2000s.
No, I got the box. What does my box set say?
Yeah, when's the copyright on that? Because that should give you an idea.
My box set says 2001.
There you go. So it could be 2000.
And the main plot deals with this boy named Shuzo Masatani, or Shu, and as he's walking home one day, he sees a girl on top of the smokestack. So he thinks, hey, what's she doing up there? He climbs up after her, finds out the ladder she's climbed is broken. So he picks a different one, climbs up, starts talking to her. They get attacked by robots that can freeze time, and they're pulled 10 billion years into the future.
That's the most Japanese shit I've ever heard.
Now here's the best part, right? They don't even explain that it's time travel at first.
Wait, did you say 10 billion?
Yes, billion with a B. The sun is a red giant that's near exploding. The world is one giant desert.
I was gonna say, shit's probably fucked.
Mm-hmm. And the kid lands in this kingdom battleship called Hollywood, where the king is a complete psychopath. Child soldiers.
Damn.
And he's after Lalaru, the girl on top of the smokestack, her pendant, which has a reservoir of water in it. Only she can control the water.
And, like, does she know about that at first? Probably not.
Yes, she does.
She's completely aware of her own abilities and powers.
What?
Yes, she is. She was in 1999 Earth to escape Hollywood.
Oh, wait, so she already knew her purpose, and that dipshit kid just crawled up there, and then he got sucked along?
Yep, basically.
Okay, so was she from the future?
I assume it's not really explained that I'm aware of. It's not really explained if they use their, technology they'll go to her time and take her, or if it's, if she's just naturally from that time period.
And we're going to be getting a little bit more into who Lalaru is on the second part of this podcast, which will be
look for that later this week.
Probably Thursday, maybe.
Ideally.
So they escape capture from child soldiers, another key running theme with this, and Lalaru loses her pendant, but Shu has it. And as they're in the boiler room of Hollywood, he loses the pendant, and for the next half of the series, the evil King Hamdo is dead set on getting it, even if it means beating up Shu to the point of passing out.
Like torture's involved, all this other fun stuff.
Yep, and he's thrown into a cell with a young girl from America.
Called Sarah Ringwalt.
Who is about his age, maybe about 12 to 14?
I believe 14 is the age. Like, Sarah, they're never clear on. I believe Shu is stated in, other material to be 14. And Sarah's probably either right around the same age, give or take a year.
And since Sarah is a young woman in a military base...
Also from America, apparently.
Yes.
Is it Molly Ringwald's sister?
No. This
Okay.
young girl is a sex slave.
Oh.
I mean, sex slave is kind of putting it nicely. She's kind of a breeding machine. Yeah, that's, I'm not even joking. That's just that's the best way to put it. Sex slave at this point, to most people kind of implies that it's just a consensual fetish thing. Breeding machine is more demeaning in the way that it looks at it.
And how many times do you think it happened before she was introduced? Because when Shu is thrown into her cell, she's terrified of him.
I'm assuming it didn't happen at all.
Okay.
It's never happened to her previously, because the way she reacts after it happens, like that we see the first time.
Oh, and like
She's just mentally broken for a while.
Yeah, and the whole flower like flying off in the breeze.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Deflowering, one might say. So yes, it's basically about these two characters and Lalaurie, and about how they're fucking surviving through that.
Okay.
And is he constantly like they're constantly dealing with this guy?
Hamdo's there, like the king is there. He sometimes and sometimes not. Like at least directly interacting with them in any way. With Lalaurie, he's almost constantly around her.
And he has some creepy fetish for Lalaurie.
Well, I mean, according to him, and I think I'm going to be paraphrasing here because I can't remember the exact quotes, but according to him, she's like the key to him actually gaining his ability to take over the world. Hence why he needs to keep her alive, but maybe not, in the best of conditions.
And he just keeps like stroking her face like really creepily.
That is... describe this Hondo dude.
I would say maybe like 40s, like a mushroom top haircut, maybe.
He already sounds like an asshole.
Just because of his haircut.
What else?
And his right-hand woman, who he like abuses the heck out of sometimes, keeps coming back to him because she loves him?
It's never really clear. That's one of the grievances I have that I'll get into.
Because she seems jealous of Lalaurie at some point.
It seems like there's jealousy involved, yeah, but I don't understand the loyalty in like anywhere near half the people on this thing.
Okay.
Because the man is literally batshit insane, and it's not even like he's hiding it. It's quite evident to anyone that sees him.
He's so childish, too. When an assassin came to kill him, the assassin was incapacitated. Abelia, his right-hand woman, says, okay, we need to find the other one and keep him alive. Hondo grabs his gun and says, like, what did he say? You think you can kill me? Well, I'll kill you. Die, 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 die. With each bullet until he, until he was firing blanks and he broke down in tears saying, like, die, die, die.
I believe he still, got up then as Abelia was leaving and just started kicking the corpse at that point.
Yeah, and there was another assassin who they were going to hunt down and interrogate. Hondo says, kill him. So...
I almost understand the first one just because you're literally, you nearly died and you're in hysterics. I can kind of understand the first one. The other one that was on the run to escape? No, there's no reason he should have killed him. He should have interrogated him.
But Hondo's insane.
Yes he is.
Right?
Where I don't know where else to take this without throwing in the ending in.
Wait.
Yeah.
I was listening.
Well, where else do you want to go? Do you have any questions right now?
Oh. So there's only 3 main characters?
Depending on your definition of main characters, yes. 3 people that we mainly follow, yes.
So this show sounds really fucking boring. So what do they do? Is it being chased by Dr. Robotnik? I don't get it.
You gotta go fast.
Well, for part of it,
how did they get into pickles?
It's not a episode by episode story. It's one long 13 episode overarching plot.
Okay.
The whole idea being, well, how do we get home?
Gotcha.
Yeah. And they follow some of the child soldiers, the kind-hearted-ish Nabuka,
Nabuka,
the young, I would say maybe 6 or 7-year-old Boo, who really doesn't understand war, and the cold-hearted...
Hold on. Before you get into that one, let me just make this clear for you, Orion, and anybody else watching. This Boo character, he's not pink, all right? He doesn't try to destroy the world, okay? He doesn't absorb people, all right? He doesn't just scream.
And he's not a ghost from Super Mario.
I just felt the need to clear these issues up.
Okay.
Even though
here's
the best part, right? Here's the best part, right? He literally looks like Majin Buu's reincarnation, Oob.
Oh, really?
He's like a 6-year-old Oob.
Oh my god,
He has the mohawk and everything. He's got the mohawk and everything. He's got the freaking skin color. It's all there.
I never thought of it that way.
He's a 6-year-old Oob.
Oh my god.
This is why I felt the need to clear it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the cold-hearted Tabul, all of which are, well, Nabucco and Tabul are about the same age, like 12 to 14.
They came from the same village as well.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, that's kind of how Hamdo is gaining back his men as he loses them in this war. He's abducting children and women from other villages, and men as well, if he can do that. Otherwise, he kills them.
That sounds like a dick. So he's like basically... Is this dude like roaming the countryside with this army of kids, like Genghis Khan or some shit?
He's kind of stuck. Like, he has a main battleship / fortress, which he's out of fuel.
Okay.
So he's kind of stuck where he's at currently. And if I had to guess, he's been stuck there for a while, considering they've built bridges and stuff leading to the fortress.
And I want to know the country that I'm going to be talking about, but it was written by... Who is the writer now? Hideyuki Kurata, and his inspiration was the conflicts in Central Africa at the time. So, basing this...
I don't know enough about that to really relate it.
Yeah.
Apparently, there were some cruel warlords out there in Central Africa doing kind of Hamdo-ish things. I mean, less to the science fiction point of, we need to capture this girl and her magic water necklace.
Yeah, I'm vaguely recalling stuff from my history classes about this, but not enough to, again, like, really directly connect the two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd have to brush up on that. I don't recall.
Rwanda.
That's the one country I do remember being involved, but...
I remember learning about Cameroon.
Not that one I don't recall, but Rwanda I do.
That's because that's where the Black Panther's from.
Oh.
Yep.
I thought it was
coming
Wakanda.
out in
No. Black Panther's from Wakanda.
Wakanda, isn't that?
That's a fictional
Does that make
country.
me racist?
I think Wakanda is a fictional
It's
country.
an imaginary country. It does not exist.
Just like
All right,
It's not a real
well,
a
country.
Magneto's country.
if it was real, it would be
Genosha.
It would be that then.
So
Rwanda?
Wakanda, like with a C or a C.
No, the real place.
Oh, Rwanda?
Rwanda?
It would be Rowanda, I believe. I believe that's the spelling. But, yeah, any other questions before we move on and just get to the ending?
I type in Rwanda, and I just get pictures of some lady.
That should be a W, not an L.
You don't get any pictures of Rwandan Knuckles.
Oh. Wait. Yep, found it. Okay. Cool.
There you go.
I
So,
think you were searching for Wanda.
no, I typed in a totally different...
No, he switched the he switched out the W for an L. That's why he was getting a woman.
Yeah,
Yolanda Sykes.
Rwanda. That still sounds like some name that somebody, like a real person has. Yeah, I don't have any other questions. But does most of the story take place, like, all over?
It mostly takes place in and around, well, not really around, but in Hollywood as...
Is it Hollywood?
Yes, Hollywood. It's a terrible name.
I don't like it much either.
Yeah, it's terrible. It is terrible. It's stupid.
But,
give that
anything
name
else?
a 2 out of 10.
You're much more generous than I am. Yeah, anything else, Wick? Or jumping into the end then?
Jump away.
Basically what ends up happening is Sarah, the one who's being used as a breeding machine, ends up escaping by murdering a guard and then wearing his gear and impersonating him, and escapes Hollywood through that way of that method of escape. Shu and Lalaru, after a fight dealing with Abelia, escape as well. And thanks to Shu at one point saving Nabuco's life right in the beginning, he ends up letting them escape and saying that if they ever sees them again, he will take them in. You know, eye for an eye, trade.
Yeah.
Because Nabucco is the more kind-hearted of the soldiers there.
You say kind-hearted, I'm going to say more delusional in this case. Because he believes in what Hamdo originally said, which was, once the war is over, they can return to their village. He's more delusional in that he believes that's actually going to be the case.
Maybe not delusional, but honorable?
I don't believe in honor in this case. Like, that's not so much honor. More... No, I want to say delusional, because he's believing in falsehoods.
Okay.
I can't think of a better term for it right now.
And Tabul just seems to be borderline psychotic, too.
Like, Tabul, which is revealed by the end, is basically on the ideal of, I'm going to be the next king after Hamdo dies. Like, he's just as hard. He's not as crazy, but he's willing to go to extremes, and that's mostly because he does not believe in the fact that he's going back to his village. Which he also discovers because on one of the expeditions they take out at one point, he sees the other soldiers, the other adult soldiers, not kids, planting explosives as they're leaving the village. And he realizes that's exactly what happened to his village.
So there is no village to go home to.
So he's like, well, fuck it. I'm here in this army. I may as well make my way to the top and be the best. And he's willing to take down anyone that gets in his way of doing that. So, yes. Eventually, Lalaru, Sarah, and Shu end up meeting up out in a country called Zaribars, or Zalibars. I'm not quite sure. Did you watch the dub version or the sub version?
I
Amoeba?
watched the dub version.
Okay, because I watched the sub. Because I wanted to see what the actual raw, raw footage would be. If there was anything cut out for the English version, or if there would be any alterations of names, places, or ideals in this case.
I have the DVD, so although one point I did find out, Hamdo sounds less psychotic in the Japanese dub.
He sounds less psychotic at times.
Okay.
Like, there are points when he is very put together, like when he gets dead serious, and then there are points where he is literally just a baby child.
In the English dub or in the Japanese dub?
In the Japanese.
Okay.
Like, when he's throwing his hissy fits, he is literally just a child. But there are points otherwise where he is dead serious, and you can see that there is a threat there.
Okay.
Or there once was at some point when he hadn't lost his mind. Like, you get hints of the man he used to be.
Can you explain who this Lalaru character is again?
She's the one with, like, super water powers, but doesn't use them.
Alright.
No. I'll get into this on Thursday.
I will point out that she says every time she uses her powers, she gets weaker. Like, that is one of the contention points as to why she doesn't use it.
Because she uses the water in her thing or something?
Necklace.
In her
The
amulet. Yeah, the necklace has, like, a reservoir of water inside of it.
Oh, so it's like the water boy with that Arctic water glass that he gets from his dad.
I guess? I'm not quite sure what you're referring to.
The movie The Water Boy with Adam Sandler?
Never saw it.
Oh. All right.
What?
Well,
Wasn't
I'm
that
not
like?
going to explain the plot, but he has a bottle of water that doesn't get warm. It's like always cold. And he uses it to revive somebody. It's an Adam Sandler movie, so yeah. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
though.
yeah. Think that, but think essentially endless water.
Mhm.
But every time she opens up that reservoir, she gets weaker. So anyway, they meet up in Zaribar's. We get to meet this older woman called Sis. I'm gonna say she's in her 40s because she doesn't quite have gray hair.
Maybe early 50s.
Maybe early 50s. Maybe she's just lucky and didn't get gray yet. But she takes all three of them in. She had taken in Sarah earlier because Sarah escaped before Shu and Lalaru.
Mm.
And they also end up taking in a soldier later who claims to have escaped Hollywood and he deserted. That's what he was. He deserted the place. And turns out he was on an infiltration mission looking for Zaribars because apparently Hondo believes that's who the assassins were that were sent to kill him. He's not wrong, but he never confirms that fact. So this guy was here as a scout to try to find the place because it's so well hidden, which it's actually pretty interesting to see because the entire city is built in the walls of a canyon.
Keep them hidden.
So, yeah, to keep them hidden. It's a pretty decent idea. So they end up bringing the Hollywood in because they use the water that Lalaru ends up opening up from her reservoir during their escape. Yeah, during their escape, she uses that to knock all of the soldiers out by flooding the Hollywood. And I'm sure there were casualties involved. There's no way there weren't. But they used that, and this was a question I had at one point until it was answered I'm gonna say 10 minutes later when they started throwing stuff into the water. I'm like, well, how does water work as a fuel source then? And then I just see them throwing in stuff that's, I'm assuming, some kind of additive to change it from just water into fuel. So they end up using that fuel to then power Hollywood again. So the Hollywood starts its flight toward Zaribars now that they know where it's located.
And just telling you what kind of visually, Hollywood is this pillar-esque shaped thing, so with
it's literally just a flying tower.
Yeah, that would be a good way to describe it.
So, anyway, they end up finding it, and it's just full-scale invasion and destruction when they get there. Until finally, I think, because up until this point, Shu has fought in a non-violent manner, or not non-violent, but non-lethal manner. He's not tried to kill anyone.
And he loves that stick.
He very much loves that stick, and my God, was he crying when he finally broke the whole thing over Hondo.
He had it for 13 episodes. That stick was his best friend.
Did the series, or at least the first season?
There was only one season.
There was only one season?
13
Yes.
So,
episodes.
what was the time that passed besides the 10 billion years?
The time that passes between Shu getting there and Shu finally leaving.
I would maybe say less than 3 months.
I was gonna say less than a month.
Oh, less than 1 month.
Yeah, it's not very clear because there's time skips between episodes, so I'm not 100% certain.
Okay.
It could be anywhere from 1 to 3 months, I would say. Because they're, Shu and Lalaru were out in the desert for what? At least one full episode, maybe half of another. And they were at least, time does pass. We see night and day. And at least during that episode, they went through what? At least 3 days, I think, while they were out there. Maybe more. So, just based on that time outside of Hollywood, I'd say at least maybe close to a week in the desert at the most.
Oh, and
5 to 7 days.
probably not 3 months, because when it was revealed that Sarah was pregnant, they said she's not that far along, so...
Oh, yeah, so it would probably be within a month or two.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Sarah is pregnant with one of the soldiers' children, which We never find out who. It's hinted to be the one guy, the guy that came in to
Her?
to scout. Yeah, it's her. Yes, the scout that came into Zaribar's.
Oh, okay.
It's hinted to be him, but that could just be what he wants to believe.
So they need a extra episode of Maury with them on there.
Well, I mean that would work if that soldier didn't die in the end.
Oh, okay.
So he can't be there to figure out if he is the father.
You never know.
Look, we can perform a seance on Maury. We can bring in his spirit, maybe. We can do it that way.
Soldier, you are the father.
He looks nothing.
They all just call him Soldier. They don't know his name. He doesn't even know his name anymore. Oh man,
I really enjoyed this. And I know that you two probably have other thoughts, but this is probably one of the top anime because it just makes me feel for the characters and all the hell they're going through. And although again, it's not as depressing as I remember it being, it's really good.
God damn it. There's so much I want to say that I also don't want to say because we're getting into this afterwards. I'm going to say it's not as good. It doesn't live up to what you were pitching to me. I will say that much.
Okay,
you were pitching me a series that was very, very, devoid of any kind of happiness and was just soul-crushing. That's what I got from what you pitched me. And this was anything but.
Maybe if I didn't pitch it to you that way.
If you didn't pitch it that hard, maybe it would have lived up to expectations.
Okay.
But this... Yeah, I can't really say much more without spoiling what we're going to be going into in the post-show.
TV Tropes compares it to Grave of Fireflies.
But I feel like Grave of Fireflies is a bit more hands-on in the way they handle things. Again, I'll get into that stuff later on.
But you do admit that, drama, depression is there.
It's there, just not as pronounced as I would want it or think it should be for what this series is.
Okay. Ryan, your final thoughts?
Probably won't watch it, unless the episodes are, short, but it sounds like it'd probably be an hour an episode.
No, they're half-hour episodes.
Half hour?
You're good.
There's rarely an hour-long anime.
Well, hour-long episodes, not unless we're talking OVAs.
Mm-hmm.
In which case, they're usually 5-episode-long OVAs at the most.
Okay.
5 hour long?
Well, 5 episodes / 5 hour long. It's usually an hour an episode for OVAs.
I don't know.
It's okay.
I
You
guess
don't
I'd
have
have
to
to-
love everything we throw at you.
Yeah.
I certainly don't love this one.
I'd have to, look into it more. But,
Also, keep in mind that this is an older one, so you're also looking at more... I'm pretty sure these are hand-drawn rather than digitally done, as most animes are now.
yeah. I like the older style. Anyway, so... Yeah. From you guys talking about it and me not even knowing not knowing what it was before, I give a 5.5 out of 10.
All right.
Because it just sounds like there's
Not
just
that much going on.
Yeah, just a weird plot and yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Nice.
Don't know.
Oh.
Okay. Come back Thursday when we will go deeper into this.
We'll be taking it to the deep end, people.
The deep end.
See ya.
Bye.
You guys.